May the grace of the Almighty rest upon every heart that listens today. May peace settle over the restless mind, and may divine understanding open like morning light upon our souls. I pray that in this very moment your spirit finds calm, your heart finds strength, and your journey aligns with the perfect rhythm of God's timing. For He does not delay, nor does He rush. Everything in life, every joy, every trial, every breakthrough, unfolds at the perfect moment, and may this truth take root in us today, bringing clarity where there is confusion, patience where there is frustration, and faith where there is fear. There are moments in life when waiting feels like the hardest thing to do. We pray, we plan, we strive, and yet it feels like nothing moves. The dream remains distant, the answer silent, and the door closed. It's in these seasons that we question ourselves and even question heaven. Why hasn't it happened yet? What am I missing? But what if I told you that the delay is not denial? What if I told you that waiting is not punishment, it's preparation? Every purpose has a process, and every process has a time. The God who set the stars in motion, who divided day from night, who ordered the tides of the ocean, He also ordered the moments of your life. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Everything unfolds according to His divine timing. We live in a world that worships speed. Everyone wants instant results, instant validation, instant success. But divine timing doesn't move at the speed of man. It moves at the pace of purpose. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually divine protection. Sometimes what seems like a closed door is a shield from what could have harmed you. Sometimes God is not saying, "No," He's saying, "Not yet," because He knows that if you receive the blessing too soon, you might not have the strength to sustain it. He's not only preparing the blessing for you, He's preparing you for the blessing. Divine timing is about alignment. It's when the pieces of your life, your growth, your relationships, your faith come together in perfect harmony. You can't rush it because timing isn't something you control, it's something you trust. The same God who causes a seed to break open in darkness before it reaches the surface is the same God working behind the scenes of your life. The seed doesn't fight the soil. It doesn't demand the sun before it's ready. It stays hidden until the right moment comes. And when it emerges, it comes forth strong, rooted, and ready. The waiting didn't weaken it. The waiting made it grow. That's divine timing. Some of the greatest disappointments in life happen when we try to force what isn't yet meant to be. We rush ahead of God's plan because we think we know better. We chase doors He never opened and then wonder why we're exhausted. But hear this. Whatever is meant for you cannot miss you, and whatever misses you was never meant for you. God's plan cannot be interrupted by man's impatience. He knows exactly when to release your next chapter. When the time is right, it will not require you to strive. It will flow. You won't have to chase it. It will align with you. That's the power of divine timing. In the stillness of waiting, something sacred happens. Waiting purifies motives, deepens character, and teaches surrender. It's easy to praise when doors are opening, but it takes real faith to praise while standing in the hallway. Sometimes the hallway is the holiest place of all because that's where your trust is tested. God doesn't just want to bless what you do. He wants to shape who you are. And it's in the delay that your roots grow deep enough to hold the weight of the destiny coming your way. Don't curse the process that's preparing you for promotion. The delay is not God ignoring you. It's God investing in you. There will be moments when your heart aches for something that hasn't arrived yet. You'll see others succeeding, others celebrating, and wonder, when will it be my turn? But comparison is the enemy of peace. Their timing is not your timing, and your path is not their path. You can't measure divine timing with a human clock. God is working behind the curtain of your life, aligning people, places, and opportunities that you can't yet see. When it's time, He will make everything fit perfectly, like pieces of a divine puzzle snapping into place. And when it happens, you'll look back and realize that every delay was necessary, Divine timing teaches us that faith is not passive, it's active trust. It's not about sitting idly and doing nothing. It's about walking in obedience while trusting God with the outcome. You may not control the when, but you do control the what. What you do while you wait matters. Will you complain or will you grow? Will you panic or will you prepare? The waiting season is not wasted time, it's the classroom of wisdom. You learn to listen more, to depend deeper, and to move with greater purpose. Because when your season finally arrives, you'll be ready not only to receive the blessing, but to handle it with grace. Sometimes, divine timing requires separation. God will remove people, places, and patterns from your life, not because He's punishing you, but because He's positioning you. You can't step into divine purpose while holding on to expired connections. Every ending has a reason, even when your heart doesn't understand it. The pruning feels painful, but it's proof that you're growing. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment is part of the divine choreography that leads you into your destiny. Nothing in your life is out of place when your steps are ordered by the Lord. And then there comes that moment, the moment when divine timing manifests. Suddenly, everything that once felt scattered begins to align. The closed doors swing open, the right people appear, the opportunity you've prayed for finally unfolds. You'll realize that it didn't happen because of luck or coincidence. It happened because of timing. It happened because you trusted when others doubted. You waited when others rushed. You believed even when nothing made sense. Divine timing rewards those who refuse to give up before the breakthrough. When you understand the power of divine timing, peace begins to reign in your heart. You no longer feel the need to control every detail. You stop chasing what isn't yours and start nurturing what is. You begin to trust that everything that belongs to you will arrive in its season. Even the heartbreaks, even the delays, even the detours. They were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to direct you. Sometimes the blessing isn't in what happens, it's in when it happens. Because when it comes at the right time, it carries the grace to last. So, the greatest advice you will ever receive is this: trust the timing of your life. Stop fighting the seasons. Don't despise small beginnings or slow progress. Every moment is part of a greater design. The door will open when you are ready to walk through it, not when you demand it. The blessing will come when your character can sustain it, not just when your heart desires it. You must learn to trust that divine timing never fails. Even when life feels out of control, God's clock is still perfectly on time. And remember this: while you wait, the power is still in your hand. You have the power to keep believing when nothing moves. You have the power to prepare for what's coming. You have the power to speak life into your future, even when it feels delayed. Waiting doesn't mean you're powerless. It means you're positioning yourself for the promise. The harvest will come, but only in its season. The key is to remain faithful in the field until the rain falls. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing. Your time is coming. The moment you've prayed for is on its way, and it will arrive not a second too early, not a second too late, but exactly when it's meant to. Because divine timing doesn't just deliver blessings, it reveals who you became while you waited. May the one who holds time in his hands strengthen your heart as you wait. May your spirit be filled with patience and peace as your purpose unfolds. May every delay birth wisdom, every silence deepen faith, and every season prepare you for what's next. And when your moment comes, and it will come, may you step into it with gratitude, humility, and unshakable joy, knowing that everything truly unfolds at the perfect moment. Amen. There are moments in life when it feels like everything you've prayed for is taking too long to arrive. You see others rising, doors opening for them, and you can't help but ask, when will it be my turn? But divine timing is not a denial of your destiny, it's a preparation for it. The waiting season is not punishment, it's process. You may not see it, but God is setting things in order behind the scenes. What feels like stillness is actually strategy. He's not saying, "No." He's saying, not yet. Because if he gave it to you before you were ready, the very blessing meant to build you could break you. You're not being overlooked. You're being developed. The delay is evidence that something powerful is in motion, that heaven is aligning the right opportunity with your maturity, your strength, and your faith. When a builder lays the foundation of a great structure, most of the work happens underground, unseen. The deeper the foundation, the taller the building can rise. The same is true with destiny. God allows seasons where nothing seems to move so he can build your capacity to carry what's coming. You may think you're standing still, but you're actually growing roots. And those roots are what will keep you grounded when the winds of success start to blow. There's no harvest without hidden seasons. You can't stand in the sunlight of victory without first walking through the shadow of waiting. You see, divine delay refines you. It burns away impatience, pride, and fear until all that's left is purpose. Every closed door teaches you trust. Every unanswered prayer trains you in perseverance. Every silent season pushes you deeper into faith. The delay is shaping your heart for the destiny you asked for. Because God doesn't want you to simply reach the promise. He wants you to remain there once you arrive. It's not enough to get blessed. You have to be strong enough to hold the blessing, and that strength only comes through seasons where you must trust what you cannot see. Sometimes the hardest part of faith is learning to wait with grace. But even in the waiting, God is working. The same God who gave you the promise hasn't forgotten it. He's simply waiting for the perfect alignment, the right people, the right place, the right moment. Because when he moves, it won't be partial, it will be complete. And when the time comes, everything that seemed delayed will suddenly make sense. The doors will open effortlessly, the pieces will fit perfectly, and you'll realize that every moment of waiting was part of your preparation. You were never delayed. You were being positioned. The waiting was not wasted. It was the birthplace of your strength. Time is a mystery that only heaven fully understands. We live by clocks and calendars, but God operates by purpose and seasons. We count days, he measures destiny. What feels late to you may be right on time in his divine order. There are moments when you cry out, God, why not now? Why not me? And heaven seems silent. But silence is not absence. It's orchestration. The timing of heaven moves beyond the ticking of man's watch. You can't rush eternity. God doesn't move according to your schedule. He moves according to your readiness and his perfect plan. When you plant a seed, you can't demand it to grow on your timeline. You water it, nurture it, and wait. You may not see anything above the ground, but beneath the soil, something sacred is happening. Roots are forming, strength is being built, and life is developing. If you dig it up too soon, you destroy the very thing that was growing. The same is true for destiny. God hides development beneath the surface so that, when the time is right, what he's been preparing will emerge in power and permanence. Sometimes the delay isn't about punishment, it's about protection. He's protecting you from premature exposure that could crush what he's building inside you. When you understand divine timing, you stop living in anxiety and start walking in assurance. You stop comparing your pace to someone else's because you realize you're not in competition. You're in process. What's meant for you will not pass you by. It may pass by others, but if it carries your name, it will circle back at the appointed time. God's timing is never random, it's always precise. Every setback, every detour, every no is a redirection toward the greater yes that fits your destiny perfectly. There are things you prayed for that you thought were forgotten, but heaven remembers. God is not slow, he's strategic. When you learn to trust his timing, your soul finds peace even when life feels uncertain. You begin to understand that waiting doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is being aligned. The right people are being positioned, the right doors are being built, and the right moment is being prepared for you. Sometimes, God withholds what you want to give you what you need. And when his timing finally meets your preparation, Everything unfolds effortlessly. No striving, no forcing, just flow. Because when heaven's clock strikes your moment, no human hand can delay it, and no enemy can deny it. You'll realize that every second of waiting had meaning, every moment of confusion had purpose, and every delay was simply a divine setup for your destiny's perfect release. Growth cannot be rushed. Just as nature follows its own rhythm, so does your destiny. There is a divine process that every purpose must go through before it manifests. You can't skip steps. You can't fast forward your development. The process is sacred because it's where the foundation of greatness is built. We all want the promise, but few want the preparation. We pray for elevation, but we resist the endurance that comes before it. Yet, the truth is this: without the process, the promise cannot stand. Just as gold must go through fire to be purified, your faith must go through seasons of pressure to reveal its strength. There's a difference between being ready and being available. Many people are available for success, but they are not ready for it. The process is what makes you ready. It teaches you discipline, humility, and wisdom, things that comfort can never produce. It's in the hidden places of waiting where your character is carved, your vision is refined, and your heart is strengthened. You may not see the fruit yet, but the roots are being established deep beneath the surface. The waiting season is never wasted. It's where unseen growth is taking place. Just because something hasn't bloomed doesn't mean it's not alive. Seeds do their greatest work underground, and so do you. When you try to rush the process, you end up damaging what was meant to develop. Think about a butterfly in its cocoon. If someone cuts it open too soon, the butterfly will never fly, because its wings were strengthened by the struggle to emerge. Your waiting, your stretching, your pain, they are strengthening your wings. You're not stuck, you're being strengthened. The pressure you feel is not meant to break you, it's meant to shape you. Every challenge, every disappointment, every delay is a chisel in the hand of God, carving you into the masterpiece you were always meant to become. Sometimes the process isolates you, makes you question why doors aren't opening or why others are advancing faster. But remember, God develops destiny in private before he reveals it in public. When he finally unveils you, there will be no doubt that it was his timing, his preparation, and his power that brought you there. The world often applauds arrival, but heaven values endurance. You're being taught how to carry the weight of what you've prayed for. That's why it takes time, because weight without strength causes collapse. So instead of resisting the process, lean into it. Learn from it. Let it refine you. What feels like delay is actually divine design. What feels like pressure is preparation for promotion. The process is not punishment. It's proof that you're chosen for something great. And when you've endured the shaping, you'll rise stronger, wiser, and ready, not because it was easy, but because you allowed the process to prepare you for the promise. There are times in life when you look around and nothing seems to make sense. You've prayed, you've worked, you've waited, and still it feels like nothing is moving. But just because you can't see the plan doesn't mean the plan isn't working. Divine timing doesn't always announce itself. It unfolds quietly, beneath the surface of your understanding. You have to learn to trust the alignment you cannot see. Behind the curtains of your confusion, heaven is arranging every detail with precision. People you haven't met yet are being prepared. Opportunities you don't know about are being formed. Paths you haven't walked are being cleared. You may feel stuck, but in reality, things are shifting in your favor in ways your eyes can't perceive. Trust is the anchor that holds you steady when visibility is low. Faith doesn't require you to see the entire staircase. It only asks that you take the next step. Every step of obedience sets something in motion, something that will eventually align perfectly with your purpose. You might not understand why things are taking so long, why certain doors remain closed, or why the answer hasn't come yet, but you can rest in the truth that God's hand is still guiding the unseen details of your destiny. Alignment doesn't happen in your timing, it happens in His. And when it does, it will be perfect. Think of how a symphony works. Every instrument plays a different part, each sound entering at its appointed time. If one note plays too early or too late, the music loses its harmony. But when the conductor lifts his hand and signals each musician, the sound becomes beautiful. That's divine alignment. God is the conductor of your life's symphony. He knows when to bring certain people into your life, when to remove others, when to open one door, and when to close another. You don't have to force the rhythm. You just have to stay in tune with his timing. Sometimes, trust means accepting that silence is part of the alignment. It's not that nothing is happening, it's that something bigger is being positioned. You can't see the roots growing, but they're anchoring the tree. You can't see the sun before dawn, but it's already rising. You can't see the promise yet, but it's moving closer every day. The alignment you can't see is the reason you'll one day look back and say, "Now I understand." When things finally fall into place, it will be so divine, so intentional, that you'll realize why it couldn't have happened any sooner. The people who needed to mature have matured. The places that weren't ready are now prepared. The opportunities that seemed lost will resurface at the perfect time. Trusting what you cannot see is hard, but it's holy, because real faith doesn't rest on what's visible. It rests on the conviction that even in the dark, the divine hand of alignment is working for your good. Before every promotion comes a period of preparation. God never opens a door until you're ready to walk through it and carry what's on the other side. Many people pray for elevation, but few understand that the greater the calling, the deeper the preparation. Divine timing requires divine readiness. You cannot skip the process and expect to stand where strength is required. Every challenge, every test, every quiet season is preparing you to hold the weight of the blessing without collapsing under it. The reason some doors have not opened yet is not because you're forgotten. It's because you're still being formed. Preparation is not punishment, it's protection. God won't promote you beyond your ability to handle what's coming. You may be praying for the promise, but heaven is checking if your character matches your request. You see, it's easy to handle the spotlight when no one is watching, but when the lights turn on and the pressure increases, only those who've been prepared in private can stand tall. Every hidden season of training, every time you had to serve silently, every moment you wanted to quit but didn't, those were rehearsals for your elevation. Before David ever faced Goliath in public, he faced lions and bears in private. His preparation determined his promotion. The same God who trained him in the wilderness is training you right now. Sometimes God holds back the breakthrough because he's still building endurance in you. Blessings have weight, and if your foundation isn't steady, success can crush you instead of bless you. The weight is your workout. The process is strengthening your spiritual muscles so that when the blessing comes, it won't overwhelm you. You're being stretched not to break, but to build capacity. When you finally step into what's been promised, you'll realize the trials weren't wasted. They were the training ground that gave you authority and wisdom. There are lessons that can only be learned in silence, growth that can only come through struggle, and maturity that can only develop through delay. Don't despise your season of obscurity. It's the classroom of destiny. God is refining your focus, sharpening your discernment, and teaching you humility. Because promotion without humility leads to downfall. The higher you go, the deeper your roots must be. If you're being kept low, it's because he's preparing you to rise high without falling. When you prepare with excellence, heaven takes notice. The same way an athlete trains, long before the competition, your faith must be conditioned before your moment comes. You may not know when the door will open, but your responsibility is to be ready when it does. Don't wait until opportunity arrives to start preparing. Prepare while it's still quiet. Because when divine timing calls your name, it won't wait for you to get ready. It will require you to already be ready. Preparation always precedes promotion, And when the moment comes, you'll see that every tear, every test, every trial was molding you for your appointed time. Life has a rhythm that only heaven can hear. There are moments that seem delayed, dreams that appear forgotten, and prayers that echo back in silence. But if you look deeper, you'll see that every step, every pause, every waiting season is part of a divine design. The power of divine timing is not about rushing what we want, but trusting that what's meant for us will never miss us. Everything unfolds when it should, not when we demand it. The doors that are meant to open will open with grace, not with struggle. The opportunities that belong to you will find you, even if they have to travel through time to reach your hands. You are not behind. You are right where you need to be for what God is shaping in you. The journey is not about speed, it's about surrender. When you stop trying to control the when and start trusting the who, peace replaces panic and faith begins to bloom again. Every trial, every delay, and every detour was not meant to destroy you but to develop you. You were not waiting in vain. You were being positioned for a moment that will fit you perfectly. The lesson of divine timing is simple yet profound. Nothing in your life is wasted. Even the waiting is working. The silence is not empty, it's full of preparation. The closed doors were protection, and the delays were direction. One day, you will look back and realize that everything that once frustrated you was actually aligning you with the promise you now hold. You'll understand that what felt like a setback was really a setup for a divine unveiling. So, walk forward with peace in your heart. Don't let impatience rob you of the beauty of process. Don't measure your worth by how fast things happen. Measure it by how deeply you trust when nothing seems to move. When the moment comes, and it will be effortless. Because divine timing is never early, never late. It arrives precisely when the heart, the moment, and the mission are ready to meet. And now, with gratitude in our hearts, let us bow in reflection and prayer. May your heart be still enough to trust the unseen plan. May your faith remain steady in seasons of silence. May every delay strengthen your patience, and every waiting moment prepare your soul. May peace fill the spaces where confusion once lived, and may hope rise where doubt once settled. And may the perfect timing of the divine guide your every step, so that when your moment comes, you will walk into it with strength, humility, and grace. Amen.